The ink of the Moon Scribe. Shhh. Take a slow, deep breath in. And let it out, gently. Sink into stillness. Allow your shoulders to drop. Unclench your jaw. And let the air around you soften. There is nothing else to do right now. Nowhere else to be. You are safe. You are warm. You are exactly where you're meant to be. Let your eyelids grow heavier. With every word, every breath. Feel the hush of evening settle around you, like a soft cloak. Let your thoughts become quieter, slower, fainter. Now. As the hush of night deepens. And the stars begin to breathe through the sky. Our story today begins. Our story tonight begins. In a quiet monastery, nestled on a hill, far from the noise of the kingdoms below. It is the kind of place where time does not hurry. Where the trees grow old and wise. Where even the wind walks gently, so as not to wake the walls. High stone towers reach into the velvet night, touched by the silver of moonlight. The monastery sleeps. Except for one small chamber. Where a candle flickers patiently in the dark. There, behind a thick oak door. Is a scriptorium. A humble room where ink and silence meet. And at its heart. Sits Brother the Los. The Moon Scribe. Brother the Los is old. Not old in the way that makes you weary. But old like a quiet forest. Ancient in thought, slow in breath. And with hands that have never once rushed. Each night, when the stars begin their watch. The Los takes his seat at a wooden desk smoothed by centuries of fingertips. In front of him lies a single sheet of parchment. Cream-colored and hand-pressed, smelling faintly of flax and smoke. Next to it. A bowl of ink, unlike any other. This ink shimmers faintly in the candlelight. As if a droplet of moonlight had melted into a liquid dream. It is made of crushed lapis lazuli. Ground to the finest powder by mortar and stone. Mixed with wild honey from the monastery's summer hives. And stirred clockwise, always clockwise, beneath the full moon. There is an old belief. That handwriting is strongest when touched by the stars. That the heavens themselves guide the words of the faithful. When the ink listens. And the Los listens. The room is hushed. But not silent. You can hear the soft creak of the ancient wooden stool beneath him. The distant coo of doves resting under the eaves. And the feather-light rustle of linen robes brushing against parchment. The Los dips his quill. Not hurried, not slow. But with reverence. The tip, carved from the feather of a white swan. Touches the ink. And the ink answers. Ist. A soft sound. The kiss of quill to surface. He writes. But not with words. Not yet. First, he draws the lunar seal. A delicate ring of curved lines and stars. Symbols older than language. Meant to open the page to the sky. He breathes in through his nose. And as he exhales, a small breeze drifts from the open slit of window. Bringing with it the scent of pine, and a whisper of frost. It is winter outside. But inside. There is warmth. Stone warmed by fire. Woolen blankets on wooden shelves. And the golden breath of candlelight. Many believe that Brother the Los is simply a scribe. But the monks whisper. That he is something more. They say. He is a listener of stars. A dream keeper of the moon. In the old books. There are stories that monks once charted dreams instead of maps. And that every letter, every loop of ink, carried not just meaning, but memory. Tonight, the Los is copying the ancient Dream Codex. A book so old, the leather binding smells of rain and roots. He does not rush. for to hurry would confuse the ink. And the moon does not favor haste. He murmurs to the page. And the page answers. With every word he writes. The candle flickers just slightly. As if moved by a breath not seen. Outside, the moon rises higher. A silver coin in a black velvet purse. It watches him work, silent and still. And he, in return, bows his head. As you listen, let your breath become slower. And slower still. Like the rhythm of Thalos's quill. Long. Graceful. Quiet. With each line he writes. Let your body grow heavier. Softer. Warmer. Picture the slow swirl of ink in the bowl. A miniature galaxy. Gathering silence. Can you hear the quiet scrape of the quill? The papery sigh as it moves? Let that sound guide your thoughts. Into nothingness. No worries. No lists. Only parchment. Stars. And the moon above. And now, as Brother Thalos begins to write the next verse of the Dream Codex. His room wrapped in the hush of time itself. Let your eyes grow heavier. And your mind float gently like curling smoke from the candle's flame. In the next part of our story, we will follow the ink deeper. And hear what ancient truths sleep within its midnight blue. Welcome back. Still breathing softly? Still warm, still safe? Then let's return to the stillness of the scriptorium, where Brother Thalos's candle still glows, and the ink still waits to speak. The chamber is wrapped in the hush of midnight now. That peculiar hour when the world seems to hold its breath. Thalos lifts his hand. Wrist steady, fingers calm. And dips the quill once more into the shimmer of silvery ink. Ist. A soft sound. The kiss of quill to surface. He writes. But not with words. Not yet. First, he draws the lunar seal. A delicate ring of curved lines and stars. Symbols older than language. Meant to open the page to the sky. He breathes in through his nose. And as he exhales, a small breeze drifts from the open slit of window, bringing with it the scent of pine, and a whisper of frost. It is winter outside. But inside, there is warmth. Stone warmed by fire. Woolen blankets on wooden shelves. And the golden breath of candlelight. Many believe that Brother Thalos is simply a scribe. But the monks whisper that he is something more. They say he is a listener of stars. A dream keeper of the moon. In the old books, there are stories that monks once charted dreams instead of maps. And that every letter, every loop of ink, carried not just meaning, but memory. Tonight, Thalos is copying the ancient Dream Codex. A book so old, the leather binding smells of rain and roots. He does not rush. For to hurry would confuse the ink. And the moon does not favor haste. He murmurs to the page. And the page answers. With every word he writes. The candle flickers just slightly. As if moved by a breath not seen. Outside, the moon rises higher. A silver coin in a black velvet purse. It watches him work, silent and still. And he, in return, bows his head. As you listen, let your breath become slower. And slower still. Like the rhythm of Thalos's quill. Long. Graceful. Quiet. With each line he writes. Let your body grow heavier. Softer. Warmer. Picture the slow swirl of ink in the bowl. A miniature galaxy. Gathering silence. Can you hear the quiet scrape of the quill? The papery sigh as it moves? Let that sound guide your thoughts. Into nothingness. No worries. No lists. Only parchment. Stars. And the moon above. And now, as Brother the Los begins to write the next verse of the Dream Codex, his room wrapped in the hush of time itself, let your eyes grow heavier, and your mind float gently like curling smoke from the candle's flame. In the next part of our story, we will follow the ink deeper, and hear what ancient truths sleep within its midnight blue. Welcome back. Still breathing softly? Still warm, still safe? Then let's return to the stillness of the scriptorium, where Brother Thalos's candle still glows, and the ink still waits to speak. The chamber is wrapped in the hush of midnight now, that peculiar hour when the world seems to hold its breath. The Los lifts his hand, wrist steady, fingers calm, and dips the quill once more into the shimmer of silvery ink. Ist. The sound is barely there. A sigh of paper accepting a secret. Each letter he writes flows into the next like a river of stars. No blotches. No hesitation. Just soft, endless curves. As if the ink were remembering a dream it once had. A dream shaped like language. You see, this ink has rules. It must not be stirred with iron. It must never see the sun. There's no need to think. No need to plan. Just be still. And let the Moon Scribe write for you. You do not need to carry your day any longer. Set it down. Right here. Right now. Let the hush of the monastery surround you. Stone and silence. Quill and ink. All is well. And as the moth settles onto the stone windowsill, and the stars blink slowly above the chapel spires, Brother the Los reaches for a new sheet of parchment. A fresh page. Ready to receive the dream of the next hour. But something is different tonight. For as he uncorks a second vial of ink, one never used before, it glows faintly from within, like moonlight caught in a drop of dew. What memory sleeps inside this new ink? What dream will it reveal? That we shall discover soon. Settle deeper now. Let your breath remain slow, and your thoughts feather light. The monastery remains still. The wind has quieted, and the candle burns low, its flame dancing like a lullaby. Brother the Los sits at his desk, hands cradling the vial of moonglow ink. A liquid whisper, waiting to be awakened. He holds it up to the candlelight. And for just a moment, the ink inside seems to shimmer with motion, as though tiny constellations swirl in its depths. This vial was sealed on a winter solstice. Beneath a sky so clear, it was said the stars could hear prayers directly. The honey used in this blend came from frost-tipped lavender. And the lapis had once belonged to a forgotten cathedral, where bells no longer rang. A sacred ink. A dreamful ink. With great care, the Los opens the seal. A soft pop. And a faint release of sweet, mineral-scented air. He breathes it in. And begins anew. Tonight's story is not just sacred. It is secret. As the fresh ink kisses the page, it begins to unfold the tale of a place whispered about in only the oldest of tongues. The library beneath the roots. They say. Beneath the great oak that grows at the center of the monastery courtyard, where pilgrims rest and sparrows sing in spring, there lies a door, hidden in shadow, carved from forgotten wood, and sealed with 7 locks. And beneath that door, a chamber of books. Books with no titles. Books that hum softly in the dark. Books that write themselves. The Los writes. And as he does, his eyes grow distant. Not tired, but trance-like. As if the ink is not obeying his hand, but guiding it. Allow yourself to go deeper. Imagine the sound of a page turning. Not rushed, but with care. Imagine your hand brushing over ancient paper. Soft as pressed linen. Faintly crackling as it moves. Hear the hush of the underground library. No footsteps. No voices. Only stillness. And the rustle of stories sleeping in their bindings. Let your limbs grow heavier. Like closed books resting on old wooden shelves. Let your breath drift. Like dust motes floating in candlelight. Everything is soft now. Everything is still. The story continues. Brother the Los copies a passage from the Book of the Lunar Veil. A volume said to reveal how moonlight once dictated the turning of seasons. And how shadows at certain phases could predict the health of crops. In this tale, the moon is a scribe, too. Etching silver truths across the land. Its cycles were once watched not just for tides, but for emotion. The monks believed that each phase of the moon brought a different kind of dream. A waxing crescent for beginnings. A full moon for revelations. A waning phase for healing. As the Los writes beneath tonight's full glow, his ink glistens like melted pearl. And he feels, deep within, that this story is not just being written for the library. It is being written for someone else. Someone dreaming. Maybe. Just maybe. That someone is you. Perhaps, as Brother the Los writes by candlelight, his ink finds its way into your dreams. His words. Into your breath. He writes of a young dreamwalker. A soul who, in sleep, wanders the corridors of the hidden library. Touching books that shimmer under moonlight. And each book holds a memory not yet lived. A kindness not yet shown. A peace not yet found. The dreamwalker finds one such book. Opens it with quiet hands. And inside, they see a scriptorium. A candle. A monk. Writing. You. You are both the dream. And the dreamed. Breathe with me now. Inhale. And let go. Again. Inhale. And let go. Each breath carries you closer. Deeper. Like footsteps on soft stone. Like ink on thirsty parchment. Like night curling into silence. The Los dips his quill again. Ist. The feather glides. The page receives. And you, drift. As the final paragraph of the scroll is penned. There is movement near the window again. The moth is gone. But in its place, on the ledge outside, sits an owl. Its feathers are pale as ash. Its eyes dark as well ink. It stares through the glass. Not at the candle, but at the page. Brother the Los pauses. He nods. As if to say, yes. I've heard. It is believed. In the old forested texts, that owls do not hoot at night to speak, but to listen. The owl waits. The monk sets down his quill. And the page before him glows faintly in the dim. Not with magic, but with memory. The kind that settles in your bones. Quietly. Gently. And now, as the last of the candle begins to melt into a sleepy pool of gold, and the ink stills in its bowl, you too may find yourself ready. To rest. To release. To dream. Settle in once more. Let your breath float in and out. As light and effortless as the owl's wings outside the scriptorium window. Let go of the day's weight. Feel the blanket of night wrapping softly around your thoughts. cool and warm at once. Like mist rising over candlelit stone. You are here. Still. Safe. And deeply relaxed. Let us return now. To Brother the Los. And the final verses of the ink story. With gentle fingers. The monk unfurls a fresh length of parchment. It sighs beneath his hand. Like old paper does. Crinkled at the edges, but willing. This final scroll is special. It is not for the monastery's archive. Not for kings. Not for students of the stars. It is for the dreamer. The one who wandered the hidden library. The one whose breath matches the ink's flow. The one who listens now. Yes. This scroll is meant, for you. Brother the Los closes his eyes. He does not write from memory now. Nor from text. But from silence. From stillness. From the softest place inside all things. The ink touches the parchment. And this time. The words are not ancient. They are new. Alive. Just born. They say. To the dreamer who travels by breath and star. You are not lost. You are resting. The world turns without demand. You need not chase it. Here, in the hush between pages. You are whole. The Los pauses. A smile plays across the edges of his mouth. A smile as old as peace. As you hear these words. You may begin to imagine. A long hallway, lined with arched windows. Moonlight pours through the glass. Laying ribbons of silver across stone floors. Candles rest in sconces, flickering softly. Their flames never flickering too fast. Always calm. Always present. At the end of the hallway. A door. Wooden. Warm to the touch. Waiting for no one. Yet welcoming everyone. If you like. You may open it. There is no rush. The moment you do. A soft breeze greets you. It smells of lavender. Aged parchment. And a hint of beeswax. Inside, books sleep on shelves. That reach up to a ceiling painted like night. And in the center of the room. A chair. A candle. A scroll, addressed to you. The message continues. You may rest now. Let your dreams unspool, like ribbon from a gentle spool. Let your body melt into the warmth of sleep. You are protected here. Not by sword or spell. But by ink. And intention. Brother the Los writes slowly now. Each letter flowing like a stream over smooth stones. He dips his quill. Then lifts it again with care. The ink listens. And the page receives. And you. Drift a little further. At last, the scroll is complete. The monk reaches for a stick of pale wax. A soft violet color, scented faintly with sage. He holds it above the candle's flame. Drip. Drip. The wax pools into a small circle. Just beneath the final line. And with a carved seal. Bearing the ancient lunar crest. He presses down. Softly. Steadily. When he lifts the seal. A silver crescent glows against the parchment. The scroll is finished. And so is the ink. Brother the Los stands. His knees creaking like old wood. His robe rustling like linen leaves. He walks to a narrow shelf. Lined with other scrolls. And places the new one at the very center. He bows his head to it. Not as a goodbye. But as a blessing. And then. He returns to his desk. Blows out the candle. And lets the shadows take their rightful place. You may feel now. The deep hum of stillness around you. It echoes the quiet in your chest. The hush of your heartbeat. Soft as a moth's wings. There is no more story tonight. Only a slow descent. Into dream. You are wrapped in parchment. Warmed by stars. Cradled by time. Breathe slowly. One last time. One last time. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And let go. Let go of everything. Let your mind dissolve into soft, silken darkness. Now. Let yourself be held. As gently. As a quill held between fingers. Inked by moonlight. Moved by silence. You've traveled so far tonight. Across pages, across stars. Across thoughts that have now gone quiet. There is no need to think anymore. You are safe in the hush. The hush of stone halls. Of candles' end. Of ink that has said all it needed to say. The monastery rests. And so can you. But as Brother the Low sits once more. This time not to write. But simply to listen. Something remarkable happens. From behind the stone walls. From somewhere far, far beneath. A sound. Not loud. Not startling. But present. Like paper, turning itself. Perhaps in the library beneath the roots. Perhaps from a book that knows your name. The monk tilts his head. And smiles. Not surprised. Only, understanding. Some dreams. Have their own ink. And some dreamers. Become scribes without ever holding a quill. Perhaps. You've always carried your own parchment within. Folded softly behind your thoughts. Waiting. For a quiet night like this. You are not just reading a story. You are in it. You are the glint in the ink. The hush between lines. The steady, peaceful rhythm that makes stories real. So now. As your mind drifts deeper. And your body grows stiller. Know this. The moon watches over you. The stars know your rhythm. And even the softest parchment holds your rest like a lullaby. You can still hear it, can't you? The faint scratch of quill on page. The hiss of wind slipping through narrow stone windows. The last whisper of wax dripping into the curve of a brass candle holder. The room is almost dark now. But the warmth lingers. Like memory. Like breath. Your limbs. Heavy now. Your thoughts. Floating gently downward. You are almost there. The scroll written tonight will be placed in the shelf of dreaming minds. Where it will wait. Not to be read. But to be remembered. By your heart. In moments of silence. No one else will ever read it. No one else needs to. Because it was written. Just for you. And you, dear listener. Have already understood it. Even if you don't remember how. So now. Let the quill rest. Let the parchment sleep. Let the candle melt fully into stillness. And let you. Sink. Sink into warmth. Sink into the story's last breath. You are floating. Downward. Gently. Held in quiet. Surrounded by peace. You are safe. You are still. You are asleep. Good night. Dreamer. Good night.